Guys, let's talk about Prince William and the Earthshot Prize. So guys, before we get started, please do subscribe to my channel. I'd be so grateful. Thank you so much. That'll be like my Easter surprise. So thank you guys. I really want to reach 1,000 followers, so please do help me do that. And yeah, so we're just going to go straight into this one. So Prince William set up the Earthshot Prize in 2020 with the mission of finding solutions to the planet's biggest environmental problems through technologies and ideas. And annually, he throws a gala or prize event or whatever and awards prizes to various businesses in recognition of their work in trying to find solutions to tackle environmental issues, essentially to save the world. So the Earthshot Prize is currently in the headlines because, as you can see, it has been announced that JacindaArdern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, joins the Earthshot Prize as a trustee. You can see here from GB News, Prince William and Kate announce signing of former world leader in major royal family coup. And I will go on to the royal family coup bit in a moment. So you can see Prince William and Kate announced the star signing of former New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern in a major coup. Ardern will join the Earthshot Prize Board of Trustees. A statement of the Earthshot Prize's official Twitter account said, "We're delighted to welcome at Jacinda Ardern to the Earthshot Prize Board of Trustees. Her lifelong commitment to sustainable development and climate action align powerfully with our ambition to protect and restore our planet by 2030. We're honoured she joins us in this new role." And then Prince William has also tweeted and he has said, "It is an honour to welcome Jacinda to the Earthshot Prize team." And then he goes on there in a very similar statement to the Earthshot Prize statement. And he also adds, 4 years ago, before the Earthshot Prize even had a name, Jacinda was one of the first people I spoke to, and her encouragement and advice was crucial to the prize's early success. I'm hugely grateful to her for joining us as she takes the next steps in her career. And then it says here, Ardern, who stepped down as Prime Minister of New Zealand in January 2023, spoke of her excitement at joining the Board of Trustees. This is Jacinda with the King. She said, "I'm humbled and excited to be working with the Earthshot team. Since its inception, I've believed Earthshot's power to encourage and spread not only the innovation we desperately need, but also optimism. Solutions are within our reach if we invest, support, and accelerate them globally." And then in 2022, Ardern attended the Earthshot Prize Innovation Summit in New York and spoke on behalf of Prince William as he remained in the UK following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. So it seems to me that this is a great fit. And it seems to me that Jacinda is perfectly positioned and perfectly qualified and experienced to have a role on the Board of Trustees of the Earthshot Prize. What I'll also say is that I am aware that Jacinda Ardern, is somewhat controversial. I say somewhat controversial in that I acknowledge that there are obviously a lot of people that are not her fan. And there are a lot of people that support her, but frankly, that is the same for most public figures and most politicians. You'll have people on one side, you'll have people on the other, and then you have people in the middle that just don't really care. So I've seen on Twitter loads of comments about this move and criticising the royal family and saying that, this is a sort of woke left-wing agenda. And I just don't think that's fair because, there's going to be criticisms right and left, but there we are. And I understand the arguments about the politics of this issue and whether the royal family, whether Charles, should get involved in environmental issues. I mean, are environmental issues political? I personally don't think they are. I think everybody is involved. I think everybody is impacted by environmental issues. So I don't necessarily think that it's a sort of left-wing agenda or what have you. I think it can be used in that way, definitely, but I don't think that it in itself, wanting the world to be a better world is not in itself a political issue. I would also like to say, actually, that the Earthshot Prize is an amazing thing that Prince William has set up. It does absolutely phenomenal work, and it really puts in a lot of money into businesses that are out there trying to help the environment, and in many, many ways. And many of these businesses are very small businesses, and businesses that I have never, ever, ever heard of, in the remote parts of India or the remote parts of Africa, and, individuals with small businesses that are that come up with really innovative ways to help the environment. And the Earthshot Prize brings awareness to these companies, awareness to the work of these individuals, and also recognizes the importance of these individuals by giving prizes, and then also obviously gives them money. So, and a lot of money to help them carry on their good work. So the Earthshot Prize, in my view, actually makes real change and real impact. And I cannot really say the same about a certain foundation called Archwell. That's my personal view, and I'm going to do another video to talk about Archwell, but that's my personal view. Is it doesn't seem as though it makes as much impact as, say, the Earthshot Prize. That might be very controversial. That's my view. So I just want to add in here at this point a little discussion about the Live to Lead series or documentary, whatever you want to call it, on Netflix that was released, I believe, around sort of December or early January of 2023. And this is going to bring together why the GP News article referred to a royal coup. So this is an article from the Irish News, and it's dated the 7th of January 2023. And it talks about the Netflix series. And you may recall that the series had a number of episodes, and each episode was about a particular famous person who had achieved something in their life and in career that was extraordinary. And it was all about sort of leadership and inspiring others and inspiring the youth and blah, 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 blah. So Mr. Foley writes this article here on Live to Lead, which I thought was quite interesting. So Meghan and Harry were involved in the series Live to Lead. Series, documentary, episodes, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. But they were involved in Live to Lead. Now, what you had was, so I wasn't aware of much information about Live to Lead and Harry and Meghan's involvement at all. What you had was Harry and Meghan's own docuseries or reality TV show, whatever. You had that come out in December on Netflix, and that created this massive sort of media attention on Harry and Meghan and this documentary or docuseries, and all of the things they said about the royal family and all the things about colonialism and racism and empire and blah, 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 blah. And then shortly after, you then had this Live to Lead Netflix series being advertised, and it involved Harry and Meghan. So in my view, the timing of the release of Live to Lead, it was hoped would ride the wave of all this attention that Harry and Meghan had over their docuseries, and then they were obviously involved in this Live to Lead, and then it was hoped that obviously all that attention would then pass to Live to Lead, and Live to Lead would also be, one of the most watched things on Netflix, like Harry and Meghan's docuseries. But in my view, it kind of wasn't, and Live to Lead kind of wasn't really all that, and so it may have been better to start with Live to Lead and be like, oh, Harry and Meghan, then it might have brought curiosity as to, well, what are they involved with here, and then lead to Harry and Meghan's docuseries, because I feel like Harry and Meghan's docuseries, after that, a lot of people were just like, oh, I'm done with these two, and weren't really impressed with them after the docuseries. And so then when there was this further piece of work that they were involved with that was totally nothing to do with docuseries, they just were like, okay, I'm not watching this. You know, I mean, that is at least how I thought. I was like, I'm done. I'm fed up. I'm not watching this. These guys have no credibility. I'm done. I'm so insulted as a British person. I'm not going to watch anything of theirs anymore. So I didn't watch Live to Lead. And that was how I reacted. So I know from discussions within my own circle that that's how a lot of people felt. So I wonder whether that's why Live to Lead really didn't capture such a massive audience. And it's a shame, because the people that are featured in Live to Lead are really fascinating and inspirational people. I do accept that a lot of conservatives say that, well, it was a lot of lefties, you know, people that were featured in the Netflix series were a lot of sort of left-wing people. I get that. Okay, fine. But I think that, you know, that aside, politics aside, that each individual that was featured in their lifetime, they have achieved something that is worthy enough to be recognized. And unfortunately, I think that they were not given enough recognition because of the negativity that came out of Harry and Meghan's docuseries. So anyway, going on to this article. So this gentleman says, there's such a furore over Meghan and Harry that you have to steel yourself to judge their programs independently. Live to Lead is their latest Netflix series, hot on the heels of their Christmas family get-together masterclass. When I read this, first of all, I didn't really get that, but I get that now. He's obviously referring to the Netflix docuseries. The 7-part series of interviews with leaders of courage, compassion, humility, hope, and generosity was produced in partnership with Nelson Mandela's Foundation. So on the face of it, great work. The royal two are listed as executive producers. Really? Okay. But their involvement appears limited. I mean, that's what I thought. God, you know what? These two, I can't get over it. They always get so much credit, awards, roles, recognition for very, very little. Very, very little. You know, what did they produce in this Live to Lead documentary or docuseries, or, you know, what did they produce in this Netflix series? Oh God. So, but their involvement appears limited. I'm glad he said that. They introduce the participants but do not conduct the interviews. See, okay, to me, they seem to be doing very little in their projects, but yet they get all this recognition. They get named as executive producers, they get awards, they get all this recognition, but yet they do very little. And it seems to me that they're putting their names on things and being named like executive producer so that it looks as though they've had so much more involvement, and also that may make a difference in terms of the paycheck. But they're putting their names on things, making it look as though they are these philanthropists, these charitable people. You know, we've achieved so much, they're icons, they're world leaders, but yet you look at what they've achieved and it's actually very little. So when they end up with the NAACP award or the Kennedy Award, or, you know, all these other awards for Artwell, and Meghan's getting some woman advocacy award, and then you look at what they actually do, it's so limited. Like recently, when their tax returns had showed that they only worked 1 hour a week on their Archwell Foundation. So I don't know how that all comes together with all these awards and all these prizes and all these recognition, and the executive producer of this and executive producer of that, when they've only spent 1 hour a week on their foundation. Is, you know, everything's in association with Archwell Audio, you know, her podcast, Archwell Audio and Archwell Productions and this and this and this, but then they've only spent 1 hour a week. I don't understand it. Anyway, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Okay. So, and strangely, the Netflix Media Center doesn't make a picture of the couple available with the publicity for the show, just images of the 7 interviewees. I mean, that was probably smart. There's also been a significant delay in getting the project on the screen. So former US Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was interviewed in 2019. She features in one of the episodes, and she died more than 2 years ago. So she was interviewed in 2019 for this series. And Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2019. So really, what is the extent of their involvement? New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was also interviewed in 2019. And Siya Kolisi appears to have been interviewed after South Africa won the World Cup in the same year. So these interviews were conducted in 2019. And as I've said, Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2019. They left the royal family, I believe, in December 2019 or January 2020. So they were still working members of the royal family, I would believe, when these interviews were still going on. So what is the extent of their involvement in this series, other than them having individual clips of themselves and like headshots introducing the people being interviewed? So it seems to me that their face and their name and being associated with them was used perhaps to gather momentum and attention and press around this series coming from the Netflix docu-series on Harry and Meghan. But as I said, I don't think that worked, but okay. The interviews are intended to be hagiography, so we don't get too many challenging questions, which doesn't make the most insightful interactions. So nonetheless, the quality of some of the characters make the 30-minute interviews worth watching. Well, exactly. So obviously each person who has had an extraordinary achievement and an extraordinary life talks about their life and their achievements. And to me, someone like Harry and Meghan are not even comparable to these individuals and the types of lives these individuals led and the types of achievements that these individuals achieved, which are worthy of awards like the NAACP President's Award, I should say. It seems to me, like me personally, when I look at someone like Harry and Meghan, and then I look at the people that have been introduced, to me, there is a conflict here and it just doesn't make sense to me. And then the program loses credibility because then you are aware that it's all just about PR and Netflix are using them and they are using Netflix. And then here we are. So I think personally that they shouldn't have used Harry and Meghan. I think when you're looking at a program that has people like Siya Kolisi, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you need to have a narrator or a person who's introducing these people. You need to have someone who has similar notoriety, may not be as much, but has the respect of the majority of people so that there is credibility given to the program. And they represent something very similar to those who are speaking in the program. And I don't think Harry and Meghan do that. I think Harry and Meghan have only been around for a very short period of time. Their work has only been around for a very short period of time. They're yet to really be internationally known for something. They are not icons. They're not legends. In my view, they haven't achieved anything of the level of some of these people that are within this program, even of the level of Nelson Mandela. I mean, this is Nelson Mandela Foundation. They are just not even in the same league. The stuff they go on about is me, 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 me. They're ridiculed. They are made fun of. They air dirty laundry of members of the royal family, of friends. They have broken relationships with her family, with his family. They're doing nonsense things like this podcast, nonsense things like this Netflix documentary, nonsense things like the book Spare. And these are not things that are making a global impact and causing generational change. It's just not. So I don't think that they were the ones who should have been involved in this program. And it should have been someone like Michelle Obama. Now, can you imagine if Michelle Obama was narrating this program, how different it would be? How different people would have taken this program. So yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity there. But anyway, I'm so sorry, I digress, because the reason why I wanted to touch upon this series, Live to Lead, is that it brings us back to JacindaArdern. There's JacindaArdern and Harry and Meghan. So it was announced on the 4th of April that JacindaArdern would be joining the Board of Trustees at the Earthshot Prize, which is obviously Prince William's organisation that he started. And so JacindaArdern, as I've said, was also featured in Live to Lead, which is the Netflix series that Harry and Meghan were involved in some way. And I recall that just after the Live to Lead series came out, that JacindaArdern spoke out and basically distanced herself from Harry and Meghan. So it's reported in this article by the Mirror. So following the announcement of Harry and Meghan's role in the series, Miss Ardern's office issued a statement clarifying they joined production at a later stage. So it says, it read, in May this year, the Prime Minister's office was notified that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would introduce the series, noting this was nearly 2.5 years after the interview had been recorded and permission for its use by the Mandela Foundation had already been provided. All communication throughout has been with the foundation. There has been no communications with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex regarding the project. You know what? Good for her. Good for her to come out and clarify that, excuse me, I worked with the Nelson Mandela Foundation. I gave an interview 2.5 years ago and it was nothing to do with Harry and Meghan. And now they've come on board. I have nothing to do with them. I did not have any involvement with them. I did not speak to them. You know what? Good for you. Because for me, this is an example of, again, a project that was already underway, that other people had already produced and already done and already worked hard. And then along comes Tweedledum Tweedledee with Archwell Productions, and then sticky tab here, sticky tab there, sticky, and tries to stick themselves on whatever, wherever, however they can, either for money or either for clout and recognition, attention, press attention, and they can add it onto their little list of achievements. You know, executive producer of Live to Lead, you know, a Netflix series on the courageous, compassionate, hopeful people, leaders of the, you know, all rubbish. And in association with Archwell Productions, Harry and Meghan, the Duke of Duchess of Sussex. You know, they love using that title, don't they? Anyway, so good for her. Good for you. Good for you. Because that just exposed the truth of it, didn't it? So good for you. But what people are reporting now, and this is why it's reported again as recently as the 4th of April, because people are saying that this is some sort of royal coup, that she might have known at that time that she was going to be working with the Earthshot Prize, and so she distanced herself at that stage from Harry and Meghan. I don't know how early on these things are talked about, organized, you know, how early on she would have been invited to be a trustee. I don't know whether it would have been around the same time. I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. But I would like to think that it's just her wanting to distance herself from all the rubbish that was attached to Harry and Meghan after their Netflix series, after their own Netflix series in December. And then, of course, they came out with Live to Lead, of which she was involved in. And it was quite a short time after their documentary that the Live to Lead series came out. So she was probably, I'd like to think that she was like, whoa, I'm going to distance myself from these people because they're talking about the empire, they're talking about the Commonwealth, or at least they had people, other people on the show talking about the Commonwealth and Empire 2.0, because heaven forbid that comes out of their own mouth, because Harry's going to want deniability, right? Just like he said in the emails or text messages that were released in court with reference to fighting freedom. He said, I understand that you're going to have deniability. So he knows about deniability. So he doesn't want to be in that situation where someone says, well, you said that the Commonwealth was Empire 2.0. He's going to go, did I? Did I say that? Did I say that? No, I didn't. Wasn't me. So then everyone goes, oh God, it wasn't him. That's true. But we all know what's going on, okay? It was in your Netflix docuseries of which you were, a producer, Archwell Productions. So we get it, okay? We know what you're trying to say. Don't try and gaslight us. We know what you're trying to say. So I would like to think that she, who at that time was a leader of a Commonwealth country, obviously the royal family, the king, queen is your head of state. I would like to think that she was trying to say, I'm not involved in this rubbish. Our country's not involved in this rubbish. And so therefore I had nothing to do with them. when I got interviewed for the program Live to Lead, and I did it with the intention of being associated with the Nelson Mandela Foundation. I had no idea that these guys were going to be involved in this, and so therefore I'm going to let this be known. So I kind of feel like, I want to believe that she had that kind of feeling and that kind of instinct where she was like, you know what, I'm not going to be associated with these guys who were so disparaging about the Commonwealth and about our head of state. So I'm going to distance myself. That's what I'd like to believe, but who knows? Okay, who knows? So there we are. I'm so sorry. That took quite a longer than I thought to talk about this one thing, which was JacindaArdern becoming a trustee of the Earthshot Prize. That took a lot longer than I thought. Anyway, Earthshot Prize, great, fabulous. I think that's going to be Prince William's legacy, other than, of course, being hopefully one of our best monarchs. So I think that, yeah, that's going to be his legacy. Great work. It must be incredibly hard to head such an organization. So good for him. And you know what? Good luck to JacindaArdern, good luck to her. And I hope they all do good things. So guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. Please do subscribe to my channel. I really want to reach 1,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe. I would love that. Thank you so much. And yeah, put some comments in the comment section. What do you think about all this? Have you seen Live to Lead? Did you think it was great? Did you like Harry and Meghan's involvement in Live to Lead? Do you think it added much? Do you have any views on JacindaArdern? Are you one of the people who think she's quite controversial? Do you think that the issue of environmentalism is a political one and that the royal family shouldn't be involved in it at all? Or do you think actually it's a worldwide thing and, good for them? So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. So guys, take care. Take care, guys.